They ran in mud, frost, drought, and dark. They hauled, pulled, plowed, and planted, day after day, decade after decade, without complaint. While entire car brands collapsed and farm equipment companies went bankrupt, these 10 American tractors just kept working. Some are still working right now on real farms with original engines that haven't been rebuilt. These aren't myths, these are machines, and today we're counting down the 10 most reliable American tractors born from 1970. Ford 8000 and Ford 8600. We open our countdown with a machine that redefined what a Ford tractor could be. The Ford 8000 was introduced in 1968, developed largely on a clean sheet of paper and powered by an engine that was also designed from scratch. The 401 cubic inch, direct injection inline 6-cylinder diesel. That square 4.40-inch bore and stroke was unusual in the diesel world, but it worked. Nebraska tractor tests rated the 8000 at 105.73 horsepower at the PTO, a very strong number for its class at the time. What made the Ford 8000 and its successor, the 8600, worthy of this list was the durability of that 401 engine. Operators and mechanics who worked with these tractors consistently praised the power plant's resilience. Ford continued using the 401 all the way through the TW series tractors and the 88 series that followed, a testament to just how sound the basic design was. The Ford 8000 was manufactured at the Ford plant in Highland Park, Michigan, and the 8600, essentially an improved and slightly more powerful evolution launched in 1973, updated that engine with tweaks that gained approximately 5 more horsepower at the PTO. The 8600 also offered Ford's dual power system, essentially a torque amplifier that split the standard 4-speed transmission into a 16-speed unit. This gave operators tremendous versatility in matching ground speed to field conditions without stopping to manually shift. For a tractor of this era, that kind of transmission flexibility was a major competitive advantage. The 8600 updated to the 8700 in 1977 with more restyling, but the core DNA established in the 8000's 1968 debut remained the foundation. Farmers who used these blue tractors knew they had something tough under the hood, and decades of use proved them right. Number 9. International Harvester 1066, 1971. 1976. International Harvester launched its 66 series in July 1971, backed by a $25 million investment in engine redesign at its Melrose Park facility. The 1066 sat in the middle of that lineup, positioned as the mid-range row crop workhorse for medium to large farm operations. Its engine was the DT414, a 6-cylinder, 6.8-liter turbocharged diesel that produced 108 horsepower at the drawbar and 126 horsepower at the PTO, confirmed by Nebraska tractor testing at 105.95 drawbar and 125.68 PTO horsepower under load. In 1973, IH increased the rated engine speed from 2,400 RPM to 2,600 RPM, which added a meaningful boost to overall performance. That same year, the hydrostatic transmission variant, originally called the 1066 Hydro, was renamed the Hydro 100 because the hydrostatic drive's power demands slightly reduced effective pulling capability compared to the standard gear-driven models. The renaming was honest. IH wanted customers to understand exactly what they were getting. The numbers tell the story of the 1066's success. Over its 6-year production run, International Harvester built a total of 54,947 units, making it the highest production model in the entire 66 series lineup. Farmers praised its heavy-duty 6-cylinder engine, which regularly surpassed 10,000 hours of operation under demanding field conditions. Parts availability remains strong today through specialized suppliers, which is the clearest possible measure of a vintage tractor's lasting value. The 1066 had some ergonomic quirks. Battery access was awkward and the open operator station versions were loud, but in terms of raw engine durability and pulling power, it was one of the most respected machines IH ever produced. Number 8. International Harvester 1086, 1976-1981. If the 1066 was IH's dependable mid-range star of the early 1970s, then the 1086 was the evolved, more powerful, more comfortable successor that carried that reliability tradition forward into the late 1970s and early 1980s. Produced in Rock Island, Illinois from 1976 to 1981, the 1086 was powered by the same proven DT414 engine family, now in a 6.8-liter turbocharged configuration with replaceable cast-iron wet-type cylinder sleeves, a fully counterbalanced crankshaft with 7 main bearings, aluminum alloy pistons, and forged steel I-beam connecting rods. These are the internal features of an engine built to last. The 1086 produced a maximum of 130 horsepower and was offered with a torque amplifier transmission featuring 16 forward and 8 reverse gears, giving operators serious flexibility for everything from heavy tillage to light transport work. The tractor's hydraulic system had a pump flow of 12 gallons per minute and a hydraulic capacity of 85.2 liters. The 3-point hitch was adjustable to accommodate a wide range of implements. International Harvester sold 47,420 units of the 1086 over its 5-year production run. The 86 series, the family this tractor belonged to, was released in September 1976 as the Pro Ag line, featuring an upgraded cab called the Control Center with air conditioning, heat, and optional CB radio. This was IH's answer to farmer demands for better working conditions inside the cab, and it helped the 1086 compete aggressively against the John Deere 4430 and 4440 in the hotly contested 130 horsepower market segment. Decades later, the 1086 remains one of the most sought-after used tractors from this era, a machine that earned its reliability reputation one season at a time. Number 7. Allis-Chalmers 7045, 1977–1981. Allis-Chalmers has always been somewhat underappreciated in the pantheon of American tractor history, overshadowed by the green and red giants from Waterloo and Rock Island. But the 7 Series tractors that the company produced throughout the 1970s and into the early 1980s were genuinely excellent machines, and the 7045 stands as one of the best of the bunch. Manufactured in West Allis, Wisconsin from 1977 to 1981. The Allis-Chalmers 7045 was powered by the company's own 670T engine, a 7.0-liter 426 cubic inch 6-cylinder turbocharged diesel, with a cylinder bore of 4.25 inches, a piston stroke of 5 inches, and a compression ratio of 16.0 to 1. This engine produced 173 horsepower at 2,300 RPM. That made the 7045 one of the most powerful row crop tractors in its class when new. The 7045 was offered with either a partial power shift transmission with 20 forward and 4 reverse gears, or a partial power shift with 12 forward and 2 reverse gears. It featured hydrostatic power steering and differential hydraulic wet disc brakes. Operators could choose between Allis-Chalmers' Acoustic cab, which was renowned for its excellent sound dampening, or a 4-post ROP structure. The Acoustic cab was genuinely competitive with John Deere's celebrated Sound Guard cab of the same era, and farmers who spent long days inside it appreciated the quiet. Allis-Chalmers fans who ran these machines speak of the 426 cubic inch engine with enormous respect. The tractor was demanding to maintain, like all high-powered machines of the era, but when properly serviced, it delivered outstanding performance and longevity. Number 6. John Deere 4320, 1971–1972. John Deere called it the Super 4020 in its own marketing materials, and that name tells you everything you need to know about the 4320's place in Deere history. Introduced in 1971 as part of the Generation 1 lineup, the 4320 was built specifically to fill the horsepower gap between the 95 horsepower 4020 and the 135 horsepower 4620. It delivered 115 horsepower through a turbocharged version of the famous 404 cubic inch engine that had powered the 4020, and Deere made sure the driveline was strong enough to handle every bit of it. Deere did not simply bolt a turbocharger onto a 4020 frame and call it finished. Recognizing that the extra power required extra strength throughout the drivetrain, Deere's engineers added approximately 700 pounds of mass to the 4320's driveline components compared to the 4020. That kind of deliberate conservative over-engineering was the hallmark of John Deere in this era, and it is precisely why so many of these tractors are still running today. The 4320 was produced for only 2 model years, 1971 and 1972, before being replaced by the Generation 2 machines. But in those 2 years, it established a powerful reputation for dependability. Farmers who had loved the 4020 found in the 4320 everything they had valued in that machine, plus more power and refined feel. It was the right tractor at the right time, bridging 2 generations of Deere engineering with grace and strength. Short production run, but every unit built was excellent. Number 5. John Deere 4430, 1973-1977. When John Deere introduced its Generation 2 tractor line in 1972, the entire industry took notice, and the model that became the sales leader of that generation, the machine that farmers across North America chose more than any other in its class, was the John Deere 4430, manufactured in Waterloo, Iowa from 1973 to 1977. The 4430 was powered by a 6.6-liter 6-cylinder turbocharged diesel engine with a compression ratio of 15.1:1, producing 125 horsepower and 105 PTO horsepower. 3 transmission options were available: the John Deere Synchro Range, the Quad Range, and the Full Power Shift, one of the best automatic-style transmissions available on any tractor in the world at that time. The Category 2 3-point hitch allowed operators to attach a wide array of implements, making the 4430 one of the most versatile machines in its class. The closed-center hydraulic system with multiple valves provided excellent implement control. But what truly made the 4430 legendary wasn't just its power or transmission. It was the Sound Guard body cab, which was introduced as a standard feature on Generation 2 tractors. For the first time, a broad range of farmers had access to an enclosed, sound-dampened cab, with heat and optional air conditioning as standard equipment. Operator comfort in the 1970s was a revolutionary concept in farm machinery. The 4430 delivered it to American farms at a time when the competition was still asking operators to endure open station conditions. It was manufactured from 1973 to 1977, and its enduring popularity among collectors and working farmers today speaks to a design that simply got the fundamentals right. Number 4. John Deere 4020, 1963-1972. Active throughout 1970s. The John Deere 4020 is the most iconic American farm tractor ever built. Full stop. Introduced in 1963 as part of Deere's new generation of power lineup, a landmark moment when the company abandoned its legendary 2-cylinder engines for modern multi-cylinder diesel power plants, the 4020 became a phenomenon. By 1966, it accounted for 48% of all John Deere North American tractor sales. From 1964 through 1972, Deere produced approximately 184,000 units, making it the best-selling tractor in its horsepower class and era by a wide margin. The 4020 diesel used a 6-cylinder engine tested at 84 drawbar and 91 PTO horsepower. Standard equipment included the Synchro Range transmission with 8 forward and 2 reverse speeds, with an optional power shift transmission, one of the most celebrated tractor transmission innovations of the 20th century. For the first time on a tractor of this scale, farmers could change speeds under full load, forward or reverse, without ever touching the clutch. The 4020 also introduced power steering, a differential lock, hydraulic power brakes, and was one of the first tractors to offer optional factory-installed cabs. Why does the 4020 appear on a list of most reliable tractors from 1970 when production ended in 1972? Because by 1970, 4020s were everywhere, on virtually every progressive American farm, and they kept working through the entire decade and beyond. Thousands of 4020s are still in active use today, more than 60 years after their introduction. Their mechanical simplicity, straightforward serviceability, and genuine over-engineering have made them practically indestructible under proper maintenance. It is not uncommon to find a 4020 with its original engine still running strong after 5 decades of work. That is the definition of reliability. Number 3. John Deere 4440, 1977-1982. In 1977, John Deere made an announcement to the industry. They called it the New Iron Horses, and the name was not marketing hyperbole. When Deere introduced the 4440 that year, the company's engineers had deliberately strengthened nearly every major component compared to the preceding 4430. Frame rails were beefed up, castings throughout the tractor were built heavier. The entire drivetrain was fortified to handle the new machine's increased power. The cooling system was redesigned with a larger radiator, bigger fans, and a new dual-pressure arrangement. Deere chose to call these tractors Iron Horses and backed the name with the slogan, "More horses, more iron." Both parts of that slogan were factually true. The 4440 was powered by the John Deere 6466T engine, a 7.6-liter, 466 cubic inch, 6-cylinder turbocharged diesel producing 130 horsepower at the PTO with a maximum torque of 642 Nm at 1,500 RPM. Transmission choices were the 16 forward sect reverse quad range partial power shift or the 8 forward 4 reverse full power shift. The closed-center hydraulic system featured a piston pump with a rated capacity of 23 gallons per minute at 2,250 psi. The 4440 was manufactured at the John Deere plant in Waterloo, Iowa. The 4440's updated Sound Guard cab was even quieter and more comfortable than the 4430's, and it was the first tractor to feature an AM/FM radio inside the cab as standard equipment, a detail that might seem trivial today, but was genuinely significant for operators spending 12-hour days in the seat during planting and harvest. The 4440 averaged over 13,000 units sold annually during its production run, and its average service life has been measured at between 12,000 and 15,000 hours. That kind of longevity, approaching what you'd expect from a commercial truck diesel, is exceptional for a farm tractor. The 4440 is the most popular model in the entire Iron Horses series, and it earned that status through performance that was simply outstanding. Number 2. John Deere 4230, 1973. 1977. The John Deere 4230 occupies a unique position in the history of American tractors. It was part of the same Generation 2 family as the 4430, introduced in 1973, built in Waterloo, Iowa, discontinued in 1977, but it sat one step below the 4430 in the lineup, where the 4430 offered 125 horsepower and the turbocharged 404 engine. The 4230 used a naturally aspirated version of Deere's reliable 6-cylinder diesel, producing approximately 100 PTO horsepower. For many American farms of the 1970s, that was exactly the right amount of power. The 4230's place on this list comes from a combination of factors that add up to exceptional real-world reliability. The naturally aspirated engine had fewer components than its turbocharged counterpart, fewer things to wear out, fewer failure points, simpler maintenance intervals. Farmers who ran 4230s in this era often report that the machines were nearly bulletproof under normal operating conditions. The Generation 2 Sound Guard cab was available on the 4230 just as it was on the 4430, giving operators the same comfort advantage over competitors. The powershift and quad-range transmission options provided the same flexibility. What makes the 4230 arguably the second most reliable American tractor on this entire list is its reputation in the field over more than 5 decades of use. While the 4430 and 4440 get more attention because they were more powerful, more visible, more talked about, the 4230 has quietly accumulated one of the strongest track records for longevity and low repair frequency of any American tractor produced in this era. It was the right size for a huge swath of American family farming operations. It was built with the same Generation 2 engineering that made the 4430 a legend, and it has proven itself through generations of continuous work. Thousands upon thousands of 4230s are still running on American farms today. That fact speaks louder than any specification. Number 1. Ford TW20, 1979–1983. By the late 1970s, Ford had firmly established itself as one of the most serious competitors in the high-horsepower tractor market. The tractor that proved just how strong Ford engineering had become was the TW20. Introduced in 1979 as part of Ford's new TW series, this machine quickly earned a reputation for durability, power, and mechanical simplicity, the exact combination farmers wanted from a heavy field tractor. The TW20 was powered by Ford's proven 401 cubic inch turbocharged 6-cylinder diesel engine, the same engine family that had already built a strong reliability reputation in earlier models like the Ford 8000 and 8600. In the TW20, it produced roughly 128 PTO horsepower, giving farmers plenty of strength for heavy tillage, large planters, and demanding field work. What made this engine special wasn't just the power, it was the longevity. Many TW20 tractors have accumulated well over 10,000 operating hours without requiring a full engine rebuild. The tractor was built with a heavy-duty drivetrain designed to handle sustained workloads. Ford paired the engine with its dual-power transmission system, allowing operators to split gears under load and maintain optimal ground speed without stopping to shift. This feature was extremely valuable during field operations, where conditions constantly changed. Operator comfort also improved significantly with the TW Series cab. The quiet, well-sealed cab offered heating, ventilation, and optional air conditioning, a major upgrade compared to the open stations that many farmers had endured in previous decades. Long hours during planting and harvest became far less exhausting. But the real reason the Colt 20 earned its place among the most reliable tractors of its era was simple: it just kept working. Farmers praised the tractor for its straightforward mechanical design, easy maintenance, and ability to handle years of heavy agricultural work without major failures. Even today, decades after production ended, TW20 tractors remain common on working farms across North America, still plowing fields, still hauling equipment, and still running the same engines they left the factory with. So that's it for today. If you like this video, then please hit the like and subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching.